Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet what I call the change of season wrap shawl. I love this shawl because it is made with a light 3 cotton yarn and it only measures about 14 inches across, so it's not real wide. And it's nice and long at about 44 inches in length. And we stitch it with a 2-row repeat. And this color changes is because I used a color changing yarn. And we'll talk more about yarns in just a few minutes. I think you're really going to enjoy this. It's perfect for, when it goes from winter to spring or when it goes from summer to fall, when we get a few cool evenings or cool mornings. Or even just to have with you when you go to a restaurant and they've got that air conditioner blasting and you get a little bit cold and want something across your shoulders. It's perfect for a fancy occasion or a casual occasion. Just depends on what you like to wear. I love it. I can't wait to try it out. This is one of those ones that I really love and I'm probably going to keep for myself. I always say that I'm going to give it away, I know. But this one, I just really love it. And I love the feel of the yarn also. Now you can find the complete pattern on my blog with pictures and information, repeats, multiples, all the information that you need on my blog. And as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. So to make our change of season wrap shawl, you're going to need about 6 ounces or more if you want to make it longer of a light number 3 cotton yarn. I'm using this. It's Yarnspirations Caron Cotton Ripple Cakes. The color is called Mauve Glow. It's got a little bit of like a brownish color that moves to a purple, sort of a mango, and then yellow. 4 different colors, and that just makes a beautiful sort of a pastel fall type color. And of course this comes in lots of different colors. I purchased this one at my local Michael's and I've had it for a little bit. I did not pay $9.99 for it. It was on sale, buy one get the second one half price at my local Michael's. You can also go to Yarnspirations and order it straight from their website, and I don't know the price on their website. Okay, now you're going to need about 6 ounces, and again, if you want to make it longer, maybe more. But any light number 3 cotton will work. Now, a lot of people ask me when I use cotton, can you use acrylic? And you can, or any other fiber that you want. But it may not work up exactly the same because, of course, cotton, acrylic, wool, they're all different fibers and they wash different. Of course, if you're going to use a wool, it's going to felt in the wash machine. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your yarn. I wanted to go with a cotton because since it's a change of season, I didn't want it to be real warm. I wanted it to be comfortable and maybe get the chill off your shoulders. All right, we're going to stitch with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. And then you just need a needle for weaving in ends and a pair of scissors. So to begin our wrap shawl, we're going to start with our slip knot. And we're going to loosely chain 47 chains. I always say when you begin a project to loosely chain because we have a tendency to chain too tight. And we don't want the end of our shawl to be all puckered up on one end. So we want to loosen up just a little bit and chain 47 chains. I have chained 47 chains a little bit loose. We're going to begin by placing a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. We don't count the loop on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. All right, so now what we're going to do is place 1 double crochet in each of those chains across. We are using a light number 3 yarn, and we're using an H hook, which is going to make it just a little bit loose and a little bit lacy. Normally you go down a hook size when you're working with a light 3, but I wanted this shawl to be just a little bit light and loose and have sort of, not exactly, but sort of a lacy appearance. All right, so we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of those chains all the way across our chains. So I started in the 4th chain from the hook and stitched a double crochet in each of those chains across. Now this chain 3 that we skipped counts as our first double crochet, and then we have all those across, so we have a total of 45 double crochets. We're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Now the chain 3 will count as our first double crochet in every row. All right, so we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that gives us 3 double crochets because our chain 3 counted as 1 and we stitched 2 more. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip the next 3 double crochets and then double crochet in the next 3. So we chained 3 and we skipped 3. We stitched a double crochet in the next 3. Now we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. And again, we'll skip the next 3 stitches and stitch a double crochet in the next 3. And this will be our repeat across. We'll skip 3 and then double crochet the next 3 all the way across this row. So I have repeated 1 double crochet in the next 3, chain 3, skip 3, all the way across. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 3 double crochet, which makes it 24 double crochet stitches. And then 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chain 3s. Okay, and this is the way that it should look after row 2. I chained 3 because we're going to chain 3 at the end of each row and turn our work. All right, so now for row 3, again our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We'll double crochet in those next 2 stitches. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet around this chain 1 space and chain 1. Now we'll go to those next 3 double crochets and double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is our repeat across. Chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3 and chain 1. And then 1 double crochet in those next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. This is our repeat across. Chain 1, single crochet around the chain 3, chain 1, and 1 double crochet in the next 3. And we'll repeat this all the way across our row. I have completed row 3. We began by placing a double crochet in the next 2 double crochets because remember, our chain 3 on every row counts as a double crochet. Then we chained 1, single crocheted around our chain 3, and chained 1. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. And we repeat this all the way across, and we end with 3 double crochets, 1 in each of the last 3 stitches. Then we chain 3 and turn. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet in those next 2 stitches, because again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll skip this section and go right to those next 3 double crochets and stitch 1 double crochet in each of those 3. And chain 3. So what we're doing on row 4 is we're just repeating what we did on row 2. 3 double crochets, chain 3. 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and chain 3. And we'll repeat that across just like we did on row 2. So I repeated that across and completed row 4. And so you can see that row 4 looks exactly like row 2. I chained 3. We're going to turn our work. And now we're going to repeat what we did on this row, on row 3. So we'll double crochet in those next 2 stitches. We're going to chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3, and chain 1. And repeat this across. 1 double crochet, get back in there, in the next 3 stitches. Chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3, and chain 1. And repeat all the way across. I have completed row 5, and I think now you can see how that 2-row repeat works. All right, so I've chained 3. We're going to turn our work, and now we're going to do another row like we did down here. So we'll double crochet in the next 2, because again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Whoops. We'll try that again. There we go. 3 double crochets. Now we'll chain 3. We'll skip over to those next 3 double crochets. So we have 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets, and repeat this all the way across this row. And so for row 6, we just repeated what we have done before. 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all the way across, ending with 3 double crochets, chain 3, and turn. And now we're going to do the row where we do the single crochet in that chain 3, or around that chain 3. All right, so we're going to chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3, and chain 1. Then 1 double crochet in the next 3. Chain 1, single crochet around that chain 3, and chain 1. And repeat all the way across. I have completed that row of 3 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 around that chain 3, 3 single crochets, and repeat across for row 7. All right, Let's do one more row. We've got our chain 3. We're going to turn our work, 1 double crochet in the next 2, because remember that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet at the beginning of every row. Chain 3 and double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And chain 3. And again, we're just going to repeat this all the way across our row. So now I have completed up through row 8. And what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repeat row 7 and row 8 for 76 more rows. That's a lot of rows, but we need those many rows in order to make it the length that we need. Now, if you want it shorter, you can do less rows. If you want it longer, you can do even more rows. All right, now, if you do this many rows, you're going to get a total of 84 rows, which will make it about 42 to 44 inches in length, because 2 rows equal approximately 1 inch. All right, so we're going to repeat row 7 and row 8 for 76 more rows. So here is my shawl after I have completed all those rows. One thing to keep in mind when you're adding or subtracting rows, make sure that your last row is row 8, which is the 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochets across. This is where we need to end. So now we need to put that last row of double crochet on there. So I'm going to turn my work, and we're just going to stitch a solid row of double crochets. All right, looks like I've only got 1 chain there. So let me add 2 more chains because we want to have 3 chains. We're going to double crochet in those next 2 double crochets. And then around this chain 3, we're going to stitch 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in those next 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and so what we're doing across is we're repeating 1 double crochet in the next 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, all the way across. So I have completed this last row. You should have 45 double crochets. And then at the end, I only chained 1. And that's because we're going to turn and work down the side of our wrap. And this is actually the bottom edge of our wrap. All right, and it's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to doing because we're not going to be stitching in the stitches. We're going to be stitching in the sides of the stitches. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet right in this first stitch on the side. All right, now we're going to go to this next row, and in the side of this row, we're going to stitch 2 double crochets. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets. And it's a little bit tricky because you want to make sure you stitch in a side of a stitch and not these holes, okay? So now we're going to go to the next row and we're going to stitch a single crochet. And we're stitching in the side of the stitch. All right, so now we'll go to the next row and we'll stitch 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. Now we'll go to the next row, and in the side of that row we'll stitch a single crochet. Okay, now we're stitching in that last stitch that's on the edge of each of our rows, and that's why it's important you stitch in that stitch and not the holes. All right, so I'm going to stitch 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Then we'll go to this next row and stitch a single crochet in that last stitch, which is the side of the stitch. And see how that looks? It's a little tricky at first, but once you get going, you'll realize, oh, this is a lot easier than I thought. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in that last stitch, stitching in the side of the stitch. And then the next row we stitch a single crochet. And so we're basically just stitching shell stitches down the side here, and this is the bottom edge. We're only going to stitch this along the bottom edge. The top edge, we're not going to stitch that, and we're also not going to stitch it on the sides. All right, so it's just across the bottom edge of our wrap shawl. Whoops. There we go. Try that again. And the key to getting it to look nice and neat is to stitch it in the side of that stitch and not the hole. Because we don't want big gaping holes on the side. Even though this is a little bit lacy and open work a little bit, we just don't want big gaping holes there. It can pull on those shells and not make it look as pretty as we would like it to. So we're stitching a shell stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets in the side of the next row, and then the next row we're going to stitch a single crochet. And we'll work this just all the way down this one side. I have completed the shell edge all the way across the bottom of my wrap shawl, and you want to work it out. You may have to push your stitches together a little or separate them just a little in order to be able to end with a single crochet in that last stitch. Now, I did not stitch the shell stitches on the sides, just across the bottom for a little extra lacy touch on the bottom. All right, and so now I'm just going to weave in this end, and my shawl is complete. My change of season shawl is complete with the addition of this shell stitch edge, which I think just adds a little bit of a lacy touch to the edge. But like I said, if you want to do it on the ends or around all 4 sides, you certainly can. I just like it on the bottom. I think it just gives it that nice edge. And as you saw in those pictures on my mannequin stockinette, you can wear this shawl several different ways.